Hey everybody, it's Jake with the DIA guys again. And so quick project here. I've got a gas strut. I think that's what you call these things, these strong arms perhaps, lift arms. But anyway, this came off of the lift gate glass of a truck cap. And you can see here the rivets came loose from the truck cap. So we're going to do a little project to get these rivets reinstalled on the truck cap. Alright guys, so here's all the tools that we're going to use for this project. So we got the rivet gun here. We'll talk more about the rivet gun when we actually install the rivets. Got a pair of vice grip pliers. These are going to be necessary to help us hold the bracket while we're removing the rivets, the old rivets from the bracket. We might need to grind those rivets off probably, but we'll definitely have to drill the one rivet out of the bracket. So we got a little 1/4" drive drill here, and then we've got the associated drill bits that go with it. You will have to find the right size drill bit, but just a set of drill bits. Got a hammer, a set of punches, because we'll need a set of punches to knock out the rivets once we either grind or drill the pieces out, probably in the frame of the camper shell, but also the bracket of the camper shell. And then we also have a adjustable wrench, and then a 7/16 3/8 open end combo wrench, and that's so we can tighten up any bracketry that we have. I think that we're going to need to tighten up some bracketry that holds the gas strut in place. All right, so I want to take you over to the shop, and we're going to start to work on the bracket itself and get the rivet out of the bracket. Now this is the way it came off, and I'll start talking about the rivets and the process we're going to go through. But the first thing we got to go and do is remove this rivet here that pulled out. You can see back here the rivet actually pulled out from the frame of the truck cap. So to do that, what I've done is I've found the right size drill bit here. And so basically my drill bit's pretty much the same size as the hole that exists in the bracket already. And then so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this bracket and I'll put it in a vise, just something to hold it steady. You don't want to hold this by hand. You want to hold it with a vise or some kind of clamping mechanism. And I'm going to just come in here and drill this rivet out. So when you drill the rivet out, what I'm doing is taking out the middle part of the rivet, the stem of the rivet, I guess you call it. And then this rivet should pop right out of here, and then we can reinstall this on the truck. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it clamped up and get this rivet out of here. All right, so now we got the bracket clamped up in our vise, so we can drill out the middle of this rivet. So that's what we're gonna do now. Okay, so this isn't working so well. So in our case, the rivet's actually spinning, and I can't seem to put enough pressure on it to get it to hold steady. So what we're going to end up having to do here is put this thing on the grinder and just grind off the back side of this rivet so that the whole thing will pop out. So let's go over to the grinder and let's get this thing ground off. Okay, so see I've got this thing ground down. So now I'm just going to take a punch and punch it through here, and the whole rivet should pop right out. All right, so now we got the surface ground down, so it's really thin right here, and you can actually see right there in the middle where it's discolored, different color. That's where we're going to want to hit, because that's the stem of the rivet. So we'll set our punch right there with a hammer, give it a good sharp whack, and there you go, pop the rivet loose. Okay, so here we are on the inside of the truck. You can see there's that middle rivet that pulled out of this of the mount of the frame. So the other two, it looks like they just sheared right off. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is take a punch, and with the punch I'm gonna hit these parts of the rivet and actually drive them back into this frame. And there's an opening down here at the bottom of the frame, and they should just fall right out of here. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna get these things loose. All right, so this is what we're gonna use to install our rivets. This is kind of a kit from Arrow. It's a pretty good brand. So they make really good staplers and other things that we've used in the past. So here this kit comes with some different rivets, and it's color coded to the tips that go into the rivet gun. And these color codes are based off of the diameter of the pin of the rivet, so so it can actually grip the rivet, grip the pin and pull it back through and mushroom out the head of the rivet. So these are the rivets this is the rivet that we're going to use. This is an aluminum rivet. So one of the considerations you have when you have rivets are mostly the material that they're used out of, the diameter of the rivet. So that's the diameter of the barrel there, and then the grip of it. So the grip is from the face of this washer looking area of the rivet to in here. So this will be based off of how thick your material is that you're trying to join together with the rivet gun. So these are the rivets we're using in this case. These are arrow rivets as well. 3/16 diameter, 1/4 inch grip, aluminum rivets, and that's what we're going to use here. Okay. All right. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to find the right fitting so that the diameter of the rivet pin is correct, and put that on the gun and then reinstall the bracket. All right, so here's the rivet gun with the correct one installed on it, and actually it was correct right out of the box. We had used this rivet, I guess, recently in the past. But you can see on the end here, let me get it focused. So it's for 3/16, and this is it. So when you put the rivet in the rivet gun, it should go in like this all the way down to touch the face of the washer. And what happens is when you grab the handles and start to grip it and work the rivet gun, there's teeth in here inside the head of the gun, and they grab hold of this shaft, and they pull. So this is sitting up against the edge of the fitting here, and it pulls this rod down, and it mushrooms the base of the rivet against the parts that you're trying to join together, to join those parts together. So once it's all done, and the rod basically just this shaft here basically just snaps off, and then what's left over will just fall right out of the rivet gun. So it's a pretty easy process in order to join metals or other things with the rivet gun. So that's what we're going to do here. All right, so as you can see, I've got one of the rivets in here, and I've got my holes lined up for the other rivets. So what I'm going to do is just kind of demonstrate the whole process. So again, I've got the rivet gun with the rivet installed in the gun like I showed earlier. Take the rivet gun, the rivet, and put it in the hole and push it all the way up, and then grab a hold of the handles, and then just keep pressing on the handles. And what's going to happen is it's going to work on pulling that pin against the head of the rivet, and it's gonna pop. So I think next time here we're going to get a pop. There we go. So when we pop it, that shaft, you see where it broke off in there? And then here in our rivet gun, there it is. It just broke off. All right, so we got one more. We'll get this bracket installed, and then we'll connect the end, and this little project will be done. All right, so there's the bracket installed on the frame of the camper shell, and you can see here is the end, and all we'll have to do now is just attach the end of this pin here on the lift gate, and then this little project will be done. Looks like this thing might need to be tightened up a little bit, so we'll tighten that up prior to getting this thing all tight. So what I'll do is I'll get this thing installed, and I'll bring it back. It has a little clip on it with a ball joint in, and it just kind of slides over top of this ball joint, so it's really no big deal. Okay, so here's the gas strut installed on the rear hatch of the camper shell. So just like I said before, there's a ball here. Actually, I'd retighten this, like I said, and then there's just a ball that you push up, and it just pushes right in place, so it's no big deal. And there's the bracket installed in the camper shell. So once that's done, the project's done, and hopefully we got a couple 100,000 more miles on this thing before she breaks again. All right, so this has been Jake with the DIA guys. Thanks for joining me. Hopefully you learned a little something about using a rivet gun to install rivets on a bracket, how the rivet gun works, what the components of a rivet are, and how it all comes together. So hope this has been helpful to you, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Y'all take care. See you. Bye.